Who should be the next Speaker of the U.S. House? It can be anybody. So let's have some fun with this. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. You can chime in live and local. Or you can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. You can message me on Twitter, Bishop on Air. Find me on Facebook, Bishop on Air. Some of you may have my text number. Others may be watching on YouTube. But regardless, I want to hear from you. 217-629-7970. Who do you think should be the next U.S. House Speaker? Now, of course, Kevin McCarthy thought he was going to get it, but the California U.S. representative not able to secure enough votes to get that role in the U.S. House now that Republicans have the majority. It's a slim majority, and that's being made clearly evident with the failure of McCarthy to be able to get that vote threshold to secure the speakership. But what's fascinating in all of this is the Speaker of the U.S. House does not have to be a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, so it could be anybody. At least that's how I understand it. That's what's been speculated. What do you think? 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, Greg, as far as who should be the next Speaker of the House, I was just writing up your nomination, actually. So,
yeah, right.
Actually,
no, thank you. No, thank you. I decline.
I don't want
Mouse. Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse. It can't do much worse.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hey, at least we'd have some carnival rides. We could have some cotton candy. We could have, maybe Fantasia comes in and sweeps up the place. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about this is, though, and serious for a minute, there are real consequences here because if people nobody's talking about this. The line of succession, the third in line is the Speaker of the House. What if something happened to Biden and Harris right now?
Yeah. Well, you've got some in the Republicans who want to impeach Biden. And they want that for, his failure to deal with the U.S. Southern border. They want it with, the speculation of the influence peddling that his son Hunter was involved in and the benefits that then Vice President Joe Biden received. So that's a great point because third in the line of succession is indeed the U.S. House Speaker. Appreciate the call. So you're voting for Mickey Mouse to be the next U.S. House Speaker. What about you out there? 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. So, of course, with no speaker in the chair right now, the U.S. House can't really do anything, including being unable to swear in new members like Democrat Nikki Budzinski from the newly drawn 13th Congressional District. She's kind of hanging out in limbo right now, not being able to swear in because they can't conduct any business without a speaker. Now, I don't know the exact last time this happened. It's been more than 100 years since the U.S. House didn't just come out and say, boom, we got a speaker. We're now on vote round number 7 this morning with the U.S. House coming in to take up that vote for speaker. And some indication overnight is that McCarthy may be making some headway, but he's been losing support. And there have been people who voted for Jim Jordan. There have been people who voted for others, including Byron Donalds, a Republican from Florida. He's gotten some votes as well. But, the role of the U.S. House Speaker really is just to manage the House, right? Manage the business, ensure there's proper security, ensure that things are running on time. But the Republicans who are pushing against McCarthy, They have demands, and while some people say it's a disaster that we don't have a speaker yet, that it doesn't look good for Republicans, others on the other side are saying this is the deliberative process. This is members of the House discussing what they want to see happen moving forward. Maybe it's about how to control spending. Maybe it's how to investigate the weaponization of the Department of Justice or the FBI or the intelligence community. Maybe it's to have a deep dive investigation into the Hunter Biden laptop, not just all of the things about drug use and prostitutes with Hunter Biden, but really the crux of it is how did the president of the United States benefit from his son's business dealings with China, with Ukraine, and so on? So you've got this broad variety of issues that some in the U.S. House want to tackle, and they want those assurances. Is McCarthy, who some believe is too moderate, the person to make that happen? But hey, I want to hear from you. Who do you think should be the next U.S. House Speaker? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, Greg, how you doing this morning?
Good. Yourself?
Well, pretty good. I got a little different take on this. I mean, I don't have any problem with Kevin McCarthy, but I think people need to understand that at its root, a lot of this goes back to gerrymandering in both parties, in that you draw these maps where they're impossibly Democrat or impossibly Republican. So now we got 3 Republicans in Illinois, 20% of the vote, even though over 40% of the presidential vote went for Republicans. And it's played out all over the country. So you end up with these, and I hope they got Mary Miller in one of them, but it could be. You know, I mean, these people are not really representative a lot of times of the districts they're in. You know, they're a far right or a far left part of it. And I think you're going to see more and more of this in the future, because both parties have taken this gerrymandering to the extreme, and it's very hard to get any agreements with people that think they'll do better by disagreeing.
Yeah, there's no question gerrymandering's a problem. Illinois is a prime example where Democrats gerrymander, but there are other states where Republicans gerrymander. And
Well,
really what it does,
I agree, but I mean, you look at some of these holdouts. I mean, I personally don't know Chip Roy from Texas, but my guess is he's in a very safe district. And, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, I think these public disagreements in both parties, and, you know, the Democrats might handle them better because they have, you know, public sector unions and all that vote monolithically.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is that increasingly the way that we're electing these people kind of disrespects the whole idea of quote unquote middle of the road. I mean, it's just extremists on one side and extremists on the other. And the only real fear that a Democrat has is to get defeated on the left. And the only real fear a Republican has is to get defeated on the right. So voting no for everything just becomes, in my view, too much of an option.
well, but it really is, you know, is it a bad thing that nothing advances out of the government?
Well, I just think that in the end, I mean, you got to govern.
That's right, yeah.
And I think people, I mean, you know, I don't mind, you know, disagreements and all that, but I think some of this is just showboating for, you know, cable TV news and, you know, who's going to be on what show to show how tough they are on either side.
Yep.
And I just think we need to look at this where we come up with more fair maps to begin with. And, you know, in Illinois, the Democrats do it. You know, in Texas, the Republicans do it. But the point is, you end up with a body that isn't.
It's increasingly polarized. It's increasingly polarized, and that's a problem, absolutely. But to the question, who do you want to see be Speaker of the U.S. House?
I don't have a problem with Kevin McCarthy. I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job.
All right. Right on. Appreciate the call. And no, he's right as far as gerrymandering being a substantial issue that is a hurdle to having true representation and having competitive districts. Too often in Illinois, when it comes to the state house, you've got districts that are drawn for the advantage of the majority party, and that just leads to very slanted and safe districts with virtually a large problem of uncompetitive districts. And that's absolutely an issue. But who do you want to see be Speaker of the U.S. House? 217-629-7970. Got a message here from a listener, says Donald Duck. So we've got a vote for Mickey Mouse. We've got a vote for Donald Duck. These are not real people, so I don't know if they can actually come in and make it happen. But I don't know. Could it be maybe Martin Sheen? Right? I mean, he's He's played the president before, right? He's also played a chief of staff. He's an actor. What about some other people? Tom Cruise, could he be a good pick? Maybe, who else could be a good pick for Speaker of the House? I don't think it can be somebody like Elon Musk because, if you're going to be third in line for president, you have to be, native to this country. So I don't think it could be somebody like Elon Musk. But Elon Musk has said that Kevin McCarthy should be Speaker. That seems to agree with former President Donald Trump, who says Kevin McCarthy should be Speaker. What do you think? Who should be Speaker of the U.S. House? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
My vote's for Greg Bishop.
Okay, stop it. I can't be Speaker of the House. I'm not going to do it. Even if you draft me, I'm not going to do it.
Well, just so you know, the draft's coming, Greg. I mean, there is that. So, but if you were appointed, I would back you 1,000%, buddy. No,
that's the last thing I need.
Mo money, mo problem.
That's right.
I mean, but no, McCarthy's fine. I think he's doing good. And the last caller basically just drilled it in, is that the politics of the states are just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to the point where, it's, well, I picked the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
And it's not what we need to do. We need to be like, hey, there were 4 people running. Right. Who did you vote for? And not, I voted for the far right extremist over the
far left extremists. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is with the State House stuff, and I appreciate the call. We got full phone lines. The problem with the State House stuff is too often you don't get a choice. You might get a choice in a primary where a left Democrat's up against a moderate Democrat. But then when it comes to the general election, there's no Republican challenger. That's because of how the maps are drawn. But back to the question, 217-629-7970. Who do you want to see be Speaker of the U.S. House? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just want to see someone who's actually a real person. All these jokes about Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse, that's all funny and stuff, but this is a serious matter, and that's why they're in the situation they're in.
Yep.
And, Greg, did I hear you say that you're fine with nothing getting done and no progression or movement?
I didn't. I just merely asked the question. I didn't say that was my perspective. I mean. Oh,
okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Appreciate the call. All right, 217. Oh, wait, real quick. Who do you want to see? Oh, okay. I missed that. All right, I apologize. I didn't get his response to who should be Speaker, but I'll get your response. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, since this ain't nothing but a comedy show anyway, how about Cousin Eddie?
Cousin Eddie? Like the character, or are you talking? You want what's his name?
Well,
Dennis Quaid. Is that it?
Well, okay. What if
it's Randy Quaid. Either way.
Yeah. What if he identifies as Cousin Eddie, but he's Dennis Quaid? As screwed up as this whole world is. God bless you.
I appreciate the call. Wouldn't that be something if Cousin Eddie shows up in his RV and gets out the black water drain, and I guess that would be, and some people out there probably thinking that's appropriate. Who knows? All right, I appreciate the calls. It is Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. It's good to have some fun every once in a while, but obviously another round of voting for who should be U.S. Speaker of the House, and we'll obviously be watching that throughout the day and keep you updated here with WMAY. All right, got to take a break and get to a conversation briefly about guns in Illinois. What are we looking at when it comes to legislation that could possibly ban certain types of guns in Illinois? So we'll touch on that, but first let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of around 32 degrees. Some snow flurries out there right now with winds up to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, it's going to clear out with a low of 27, 25-mile-an-hour winds. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 41. Saturday, a chance of snow with the high of 42. Sunday, partly sunny, the high of 38. And Monday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, a high of 47. Right now, 35 degrees, some light flurries in the area. That 825 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Hey, John, when you think of the word supply chain, what's your next impulse?
No, turn off the news, run for cover, start whimpering.
Yeah, well, a customer of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World wrote in that they visited the store wanting to buy a microwave.
Something that used to be so simple.
Oh, right. You know what they walked out with?
Let me guess. A microwave.
Exactly. Dick Van Dyke had what they needed in stock, and the customer also remarked as to how helpful the salespeople were too. Supply chain problems are still a thing, but this customer got the help they needed, and they wrote in to thank us.
You know, a little less whimpering in today's world can't be a bad thing.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Supply chain issues are minimized when you have multiple locations and people who know how to help you with your next purchase. All we do is appliances, and we do them better